What's up guys, today I'm going to show you guys my top 5 tips and tricks for trading as a small trader. So we all know that starting out trading is a hard and sometimes grueling effort, so I'm here today to give you my 5 top tips on trading. I personally had tons of experience trading as a smaller trader, as over a few years I have grown from just 3k value all the way up to 5 million. Without further ado, let's get started. My number 1 tip is profit is profit. It's a dog-eat-dog world when it comes to trading, so don't be scared to take advantage of other people, as they would do just the same. I know that sounds really bad, but in reality that is the truth of trading. You're going to have to take advantage of other people to actually grow as a trader. Even if it means leaving your morals behind to do a trade, that's what it takes to be successful. Profit doesn't magically appear, and you have to make it appear. Of course, that goes without saying, don't be a mean person in trading. Always be sure that you are kind to the person you are offering, as this will help get the offer completed. An example of taking advantage of people is doing something like projected flipping, where you trade a projected to someone who doesn't know its fake value, and get yourself a really good deal on it. I know that tip seems a bit scummy, but it's the truth in Roblox trading. You're going to have to take advantage of other people if you want to make any profit at all. My second tip here is every little OP matters. Make sure you are getting the best deal possible. If you think it's possible, always be a bit greedy before finishing a deal, and make sure to try and make them add just a bit extra. Even an extra 50 Robux is still a big win. Being a small trader, every small win counts, so I do speak from experience that it's never good to be insanely greedy, but you need to know the fine line where you can push the boundaries. That line is going to be changing based on the temper of the person you are trading. Knowing that line takes a lot of skill, so when you're still a small trader, only try and get a little bit extra out of them and don't go too far. Because someone dropping out on a deal is never fun and usually not salvageable. My third tip here is never downgrade for less than you paid for the item initially. For example, if you overpaid 200 Robux for Black Iron Commando, don't downgrade it for anything lower than a 250 to 300 OP, as every small little overpay matters. Always make sure that when you are overpaying for an item, that you are confident that you will be able to make more than you gave for it. I see a lot of traders actually downgrade it for less than they gave for it, and it's mostly due to people sharking them. We'll get to that in the next tip, and telling them something like, you paid too much for the item and it's not good, let me take it off your hands. And that's a good example of sharking there. If you did pay more for the item than they're offering, then just say no thank you to the offer. Also, a little bonus tip here, if you are just starting out on trading, the item you start with matters a ton. If you start with 3k, it's going to be way easier making profit than if you start with 1k, as if you start higher up the ladder, you're going to make profit way faster and way easier, obviously. Now my fourth tip here is avoid sharks. If someone is buttering you up saying their item is super great and gets insane overpays, always be sure to double check with other people, and maybe even check proofs if you don't know how. I made a video on it. Something I like to add is even if it's a wrap item, it can still have proofs. But yeah, if they make the deal way too good to seem it's true, it definitely is. And avoid trading with that person. Sharking can come in many forms and it's sometimes really hard to avoid, so I recommend having someone you can ask about if a deal is good or not and whatnot. Whether it's asking Trading Lounge in their Rollimon server or just a friend that knows a thing or two about trading, it's always beneficial to have someone to look up to and to ask advice to. One last thing that I'd like to add is always try and trade with people in your range. So if you're around 10k value, only try and trade with people from like 1 to 20k I'd say, and not someone who has way more value than you, as they will most likely take advantage or shark you. The fifth and final tip here is most important. Never overwork yourself when trading. Burnout is what kills a lot of smaller traders, me included. I actually had to take a year's worth of break from trading because of how overworked I was. If you ever feel like you're working way too hard, then it's not criminal to take a break. Your items will still be there in the end, so never get caught up in the grind unless you know your limits. I know this tip doesn't seem very important, but when it comes to trading, you're going to have to commit a lot of time to it, and it really can become an exhausting thing to do. In my opinion, the point where you have stopped having fun with it, and it seems like more of a job than anything, is when you should take a little break and reconsider how much time you're putting into trading as a whole. Now I know this tip seems less important, but honestly, it's what kills off a lot of smaller traders, and to see smaller traders quit before they actually make a profit is not a good thing. So make sure you guys know your limits. So guys, that's going to be it for the video. If you want to see more content for beginner traders, make sure you comment down below what you need help with. Anyways, make sure to keep these tips in mind when trading, and be sure to like and subscribe. Peace.